Straight from the horse's mouth, Danny Garcia doesn't pick his fights. Haymon picks his fights. The 140-pound, 28-0 with 16 knockouts, WBA, WBC, and the Ring Magazine, the 140-pound champion, is taking on Lightnin Salka. And I said I'm not going to call another man Lightnin Rod, but moving on. 19-3 with 3 KOs. Now, his 3 losses, 2 by majority decision, 1 by unanimous decision. Most notably, his last fight before his last one on Showbox. I forgot the last dude name he fought. In fact, I'm watching it on Showtime anytime. Let me get his name. Hold up. Yo, HBO Showtime Anytime app is well worth it. It's worth it. Colado. Alright, so his last fight, now what you see with Salka is it's not the 19-3 losses that sticks out to you. It's the 19-3 and the 3 KOs that sticks out to you. So what does that say? Mauricio Herrera, El Maestro, has 7 knockouts if I'm correct. Activity. If you look at the little bit of trouble that Zab Judah gave Danny Garcia, if you look at the trouble that Amir Khan gave Danny Garcia, you know, activity. You got to be active. Now, the sad thing about Salka is that he's open to the left hook. He's open to all kinds of hooks. You know, the activity is there, but he doesn't have the punching power or the stick on his punches to hurt you. He can't hurt Danny Garcia. So what is he going to have to do? He's going to have to keep out, but he's going to have to throw close to 100 punches around. And he's going to have to do a whole lot of moving around the ring. When I say kind of like Chris Algieri versus Ruslan Provodnikov, something similar to that. Something similar to that. I'm just saying similar. I'm not saying just like that. But something similar to that. He's going to have to do a whole lot of moving. And he's going to have to, rely on punch output. But see, what can happen, just like Amir Khan, he can get too overzealous and then try to go for too much aggressiveness. And then he can go and try to trade with Danny Garcia because he's on that big stage, main event in the Barclays Center, fighting a 140-pound champion. Oh, by the way, none of the belts are on the line if you don't know. And it's at a catchweight of 142 pounds. So Danny Garcia is going to be very comfortable. And if you don't know, Danny Garcia addressed that he took the weight off too late for the Mauricio Herrera fight. Now, there's been a lot of confusion about, how I feel about Danny Garcia. I feel like this. At first I was upset at the fact that they put him and Lamont Peterson on the same card, but then when I thought about it, I thought, well, wait a minute. His last fight was against Mauricio Herrera. People thought he was going to just go right through Herrera and maybe even knock him out, but deep down I knew after watching boxing that Herrera was no joke. Herrera was the man that gave Ruslan Provodnikov his only loss at that time, his only significant loss. And what I'm talking about is the Timothy Bradley fight could have been stopped many times. Then I go back and look at, we go from Herrera, then we go back and we look at Lucas Matisse, a fight where they said he was going to get decapitated, where I got so much shit. I'm talking about people calling me, I'm not even going to say the names people were calling me. But when I predicted that fight, I said Danny's got to be in control, he's got to be calm, and then that thing that happened with Matisse AI, hey, it's boxing. You can't take that win away from, Danny Garcia, because why? Lucas Matisse didn't adjust. Just like we said earlier, Chris Algieri, he adjusted with one eye. So when you go back and you look at Zab Judah, now you see what I'm saying, like how he's had these tough fights, 2 fights with Eric Morales, Amir Khan. So when a guy like Salka comes along, it's like, okay, all right, we so used to Danny fighting tough competition, and when it comes to Mauricio Herrera fight, hey, listen, I'm not going to say he won that fight because Danny Garcia did not win that fight. There's so much surrounding that I talked about in videos on that other channel. But what I'm going to say is here, listen, Danny Garcia wins this fight. He does owe us a big super fight. And I think, I look at it like this. A guy like Salka, I believe fighters should give guys like that a chance. Now, when it comes to how if you think that, pound for pound guys should always be fighting pound for pound guys, I completely, totally agree with that. But I'm thinking every now and then, there should be a guy like Salka who gets a chance. Not for the belts, but for the, but for the chance, the dream, to be in the big fights. So, if you don't know, Salka is going to be, I'm going to say significantly smaller. He's got the height edge over Danny Garcia, but significantly smaller. And the weight, I'm going to say maybe about 10 pounds when it comes to rehydration. I'm just throwing it out there, and the fact that he's moving up from a lower weight division, and he's going to be two weight divisions lower, and he's going to be fighting, you know, a 140-pound guy who was knocking out 147-pounders in Danny Garcia. You know, there's so much to expect. Oh, by the way, I'm T Street Controversy. T Street Controversy Live. I cover boxing. I talk about every single major post-fight live. The channel was off the ground. Please subscribe. Starting on August the 7th, 2014. It's August the 5th right now. I'm going to be doing videos every single day leading up to Mayweather versus Maidana 2. And you know, all the fights before that. So for all the people that thought, you know, I had quit and all that, yes, it's true. I'm no longer with Into the Arena, but I'm here right now on an independent solo operation. And you know, I did a video talking about that, and simply put, I'm moving on straight to boxing. You know, we got a lot of things we got to do. You know, and I got a lot of I got a lot of things I got to show people. You know, so simply put, moving on. I got Danny Garcia maybe handing Rod Salka his first knockout, but see, you can't count Rod Salka out. Remember, if Rod Salka moves almost like Chris Algieri, Ruslan Provocateur, if he moves around that ring, you know, because those 3 knockouts, he's not going to hurt Danny Garcia, and that's the number that sticks out to you. Okay, he's 19-3 with 3 knockouts, only 3 knockouts. You know, so that right there sticks out to you. Now he can maybe stun you. You know, just like Mauricio Herrera when he fought Johan Perez, it was looking like he was trying to knock him out. Maybe Salka can, but I don't see it. Like I said, right now I'm picking Danny Garcia, you know, by decision, maybe even knockout. You know, and he needs the knockout, because if he goes to a decision with this guy, it's going to still be question marks there. You know, so we're just going to have to see. You know, on Saturday when I'm going to be covering all those fights live. Once again, I'm going to be doing a video every single day. You know, after August the 7th. And then we're going to see what it's hitting for. T Street Controversy. All my links are below. Oh, you know, shout out to Real Combat Media. People used to say, you know, no interviews and all kind of stuff like that. Listen, I got a source for all that. Right there, links to everything is below. You want interviews? I don't know how many interviews they got. They got hundreds of them. So I'm going to say this. It's going to be a good, prosperous relationship. Things are moving slowly, but what I'm doing right now is establishing a foundation. I got to get back into that groove to doing videos every day. Then I can start focusing on, you know, other aspects. I mean, listen, guys, I just built a YouTube channel, you know, in less than a week. You know, so T Street Controversy Live.